Now just to double check everything, our 1-inch diameter should be 1/8 of an inch wide, which is 4/32, right on the money. And the stud should be 11/16 long, which is 22/32, right on the money. And we know our diameters are good. Okay, so now we're ready to change tools. So we'll remove the turning and facing tool and put the threading tool. Notice it's a point. It's a 60-degree included angle pointed tool. Now when we do the threading, we can't make a facing pass to check the height of the tool. The only thing we can do is the little ruler test. So we'll put this in there. Carefully trap the ruler. And you can also kind of look from the side. It looks like it's pretty close to being on center, so carefully pinch the ruler between the part, and it looks like it's just about perfectly straight up and down. This is good. Okay, so we need to slow the RPM way down. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the machine in back gear, which is like low range on your 4-wheel drive. So back gear knob goes to in. You may have to turn the spindle a little bit. Got gears in there to get it to mesh. And then the pin over here, this pin has to pull out. And sometimes it's hard to do by hand. So let me grab a wrench. Machine's getting old and a little stiff. You can take a wrench like this and just carefully wedge it out. Okay. Now, the motor will sound the same. Notice the spindle. Much slower. Okay? And we want to be at about 125. So, somewhere right in there. Now we're on the black scale. Okay. Alright. On the drawing, the thread, there's no dimension from the end of the stud to the end of the thread, but there is a dimension from the right-hand side of the 1-inch diameter to the beginning of the thread, 3/16 of an inch. So what you can do is you can take your 6-inch ruler, 3/16 would be 6/32. Okay? Line up the tip of the center of the tool on that 6/32 line. Like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm looking, make sure nothing's going to hit the tool when I turn the spindle on. And I'll just go straight in, and you don't have to be real careful. I want to make a good sized groove that I can see. Okay? Nice good groove. That's where we're going to stop the tool on each threading path. Okay, now I'm going to back the compound slide up a little bit and bring it in to 0. Make sure there's no, I've taken out the play by doing that. Now I'm going to bring the cross slide in, and I'm going to come in and touch the tip of the tool to my rotating workpiece. I just want to touch again. I want to 0 the tool at the surface of the workpiece. Okay, I got a little tiny line now, so now I can 0 the dial. Now I've got both dials, the compound and the cross slide at 0, and the tip of my tool is at the surface. Okay, now we've got our tool zeroed. We're ready to set the feed rate. So over on the quick change gearbox, we want to cut 20 threads per inch right here. So that's A3 slide gear in. So we're already at A. We just need to move the handle over to 3. And we're ready to go. Now keep in mind, you've got 2 feed levers. The one that we've been using is for power feeding. The one over here on the right hand side is the one that closes the half nut on the lead screw. That's the one we want to use for threading. So don't use this one for threading, use this one. So what I like to do with a new student is bring the tool away from the part a ways and practice. Now if we made a pass right now, we wouldn't cut anything because we've just got the tool tip at the surface of the part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dial the compound slide in 20 thousandths. This is the one we're going to increment in more and more each time we make a pass. The only thing we're going to do with the cross slide knob is back the tool out at the end of the pass so we can get back out to the end of the part without cutting, the wrong direction. So, start the machine, and we'll pretend that we're sitting right next to the part. Okay? Now when we engage the spindle, notice this little wheel with the numbers on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's a number halfway between each one. And the pointer is right up here at the top. That's your threading dial. On an even number of threads, you can start your thread on any mark. 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, 4. And it does not have to be the same mark every time. It can be a different one every time. So, pretending that we're right next to the part, I'll put my hand on the half nut lever. Okay? Here comes the 3.5 mark. As the 3.5 mark comes around, I'll ease the lever upward, keep my hand on the lever, and then you're going to focus on the tip of the tool. Okay? When the tip of the tool reaches your mark, let's say right now, okay, you lower the lever. You don't have to anticipate it. The lathe doesn't coast to a stop. It stops right when you drop the lever. Okay, now, we've got the tool in the diameter. It's at the groove that we made, so we know where to stop. Now we've got to back the tool out. So, looking at the compound lever, the cross slide lever, the knob is just about straight up. Counterclockwise, about 1 turn. That pulls the tool out of the diameter of the part. Now then we can move the carriage to the right and get away from the part and then come back into your zero. Now, when you come back in though, you need to go exactly to your zero. If you overshoot it 1 mark or 2 marks or whatever, any amount, back it up about a half a turn because of all the free play. You have to pull the tool backward and then go in again. So if you overshoot it at all, back it up about a half a turn and go back in and do it again. Okay, so now we're ready to make a pass.